Hello guys, this is Bull Cable and there's brand new balance changes coming to Clash Royale on the 18th of May, and we're just going to be looking through what is exactly coming in and just giving you my impressions of what's happening and seeing my opinion of what's getting changed. So the first thing that's getting changed at the moment is the Royal Giant is actually getting a decreased damage, which I completely 100% agree with, because it's just a little bit too overpowered now. It's just doing too much damage too quick, because he can get on the tower pretty easily. And yeah, definitely 4% decrease might not seem a lot, but it does make a lot in the long run, which is pretty good. Also, probably the biggest thing that I like, some people are going to hate it if you use the freeze too much, but it's actually the freeze is getting decreased by 1 second, which is actually really good because the hog freeze was just absolutely overused and it was so strong as well. And this is going to basically balance it back out and make, basically, it's just a really good change. It needed to have happened. The furnace is actually getting a decrease in the elixir cost to 4 from 5, which I really like. I actually use the furnace actually quite a lot in my spawner deck, and it's pretty good. But obviously they have to balance that out by decreasing the hit points, which is okay, and the lifetime is decreased by 10 seconds, so maybe one less wave might come out, but it's pretty good. And yeah, I think that's a really good decision, Supercell there. We've got the Fire Spirit's area damage is getting increased by 25%. This means it's going to 100% be able to kill all the troops now, just because of the fact that the area damage was a little bit too low last time. It sometimes didn't hit maybe 2 archers even if they were next to each other, so they definitely needed that just to fix it up a bit. The next one is the guards are getting hit points damaged increased by 8%. They just weren't getting used that much, so obviously they needed to do this. So the hit points and the damage by 8% is quite a lot. I think these will definitely start to get used quite a bit in the higher game. The miner is also getting an increased hit points by 8%. This means it will be even better to basically use that as like almost like a goblin barrel miner combo. That's going to be really good, but I don't have the miner, but I couldn't really comment on the fact if it was good originally, so we're going to be leaving that one as well. We've got the Lava Hound. Yeah, it was kind of an unused card. I think it didn't do enough damage when it got on the base, and some people were saying that it just doesn't do, it's not the best card in the game, so they've just given it a nice little hit point increase by 8%, and they're going to be getting another hit point, 9% hit point increase for the Lava Pups, which they already did quite a lot of damage anyway, so that's quite weird why they did that. And I think it's because it was a 7 elixir cost legendary and it just wasn't up to scratch. They're actually decreasing the hit points of the elixir collector as well, guys, and yeah, that's quite strange, just because I think it was because it's saying here that it's basically the most used card in the game, which I completely agree with. Elixir Collector is very good, but they're giving that a hit point decrease, so it's going to be easier to take out, which is kind of good. It means you can actually counter it a little bit better now, because it is a really good card. The Knight was an underused card. I never really used the Knight much as well. I never see it getting used at all. So they've actually gave it a hit point increase by 10%, guys. That's going to be pretty good. That's a lot of damage increased. So I think that's pretty, no, not hit points, means the health, sorry. So yeah, that's pretty good. The Bomber. Now, I thought the Bomber had a lot of damage already, and now they're actually giving it an extra 10%. Now, this is going to be crazy, guys. I think people are going to be starting to use the Bomber after this, because honestly, the Bomber was so good before. It could clear out for a 3 cost. It was so good. Now, an extra 10% damage. I mean, this is going to just create. It's just going to complete counter Barbarians. It's going to come. It's just so good, guys. I'm really excited for that one. We've got the Cannon hit point increased by 5%. The Royal Giant completely destroyed it, and the cannon just kind of went out of play after that, so it's just gonna get a little increase, which is pretty good, and I completely agree with that. Same with the Tesla currently stack up choice in the next cannon, so it's basically the cannon was getting overused by the Tesla wasn't getting used that much. I never really seen it much, so they're actually giving that a little hit point increase, which is pretty good. The Golem and the Golem Mines get hit point increases by 5%. Now that's another pretty good one, because the I never really see the Golem getting used that much, but I know the Golems can be good when you use them right, so that's going to be good. And the Witches are getting a 10% damage increase, so they're actually going to be able to take down the splash, like your minion hordes, a lot easier now. So I think that was a good one, because I don't think the Witch did enough damage off her base. She relied too heavily on her skeletons for damage, therefore if anyone had any sort of splash, it was just not good at all. It was not a good choice. So yeah, the Witch and extra damage increase by 10% is pretty good. Right, the skeleton affects tombstones, so all skeletons, hit points and damage increase by 5%. Now, this actually might make the skeleton army a little bit better again. If you get a few more skeletons on a base, imagine the skeleton army on a base now. I mean, that's pretty good. I might start using that. Hit points and damage increase by 5%. That's good, guys. That is very good. I think that's a good decision as well. And the tombstone is actually getting a hit point increase by 10% as well. A lot of people weren't using the tombstone. I actually used it in the lower levels a hell of a lot, which was really, really good. I really did like the tombstone in the day. It was a complete... it is the ultimate counter for the Prince, and ever since the Dark Prince came out, people stopped using it, and it just kind of died out. But I think the tombstone is a very good card now, and I think it will, with that extra 5% damage, it might not seem a lot, but if you actually watch it in game, I think it will do a pretty considerable more amount of damage. The last one here is card upgrade XP. Fixes for epics and legendary cards. XP gained from upgrading epics and legendary cards will be in line with the equivalent levels on commons and rare cards. So that's pretty good, and that's just basically a little fix to do with the XP. So that is basically the upcoming change on the 18th of May, guys. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think about this. I think it's going to be pretty good. I'm quite excited for this, and yeah, I think this is going to be a good update. Every time a balance change comes out, everyone needs to get back into the route of maybe changing up their deck a little bit and seeing how they can change up. Certainly Hog and Freeze users are going to really get damaged by this, or even many P.E.K.K.A. Freeze decks are going to be damaged by this. So anyway, guys, please let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.